Oh, look, the music abruptly stopped. I wonder if that has anything to do with it being 3 a.m. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting into the VSL round of 8. Sunday, only in the Tacoma Dome. How you doing, Zombie Grub?
I'm okay.
As I say, it sounds like one of us has more energy than the other.
I'm okay now, I guess.
Something bad happened, or just not sleep well enough?
I didn't sleep well enough. I went to bed at a perfectly reasonable time.
No, I fucking hate this. You go to bed, you're like, look, I know it's gonna take me 2 extra hours to fall asleep, so I'll go to bed like even earlier, and then it's just like, no, you just roll around. It's bullshit, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm gonna blame Apollo for each and every one of my, times I woke up. But that,
Aw.
yep.
He's such a sweetheart. I miss Millie. I would trade sleeping well for my cat again.
Yeah.
Wow. Again, the lady whose name I've yet to learn on the cast. Oh, let me get this on screen for you guys. She looks so cute today. I love this outfit. I don't know what. I'm seriously gonna fall in love with this woman. I'm already in love with this woman. It's too late. I'm sorry, Cantana. Canada. Man, I always say his name wrong. You're out.
I don't know how to explain
Look,
why
you
it's so
don't need
bewildering to me that you like this girl so much.
There's no need to be jealous, Zombie Grub. All right.
I'm so jealous.
No, I don't know what it is either. I'm not usually like into like Korean women or like that style or anything, but this lady looks so good every
Maybe
cast.
because you know she's into StarCraft. Maybe there's
You
something
know what? I
there.
know that's a factor for you. It's not for me. I watch more people that play fucking League of Legends.
I
Than I do people
know
who play
it
StarCraft.
usually isn't, but okay. But she obviously has to know her shit, right? Because she's one of
Does
two
she, though?
casters in the Korean scene. Well, I mean, if she was a third caster, that third caster usually does like nothing except bridge the gap. But
Well, I was gonna
she's the
say, do you
second
speak
caster.
Korean? Are you watching the matches? Maybe she is like to this guy what I am to you, and I'm just like, yeah, that's happening.
Then
This is
clearly
in
she
game.
does know StarCraft, Rifkin.
Oh, I know that you didn't say it, but I love you too, Zombie Girl. By the way, shout out to Maynard in chat. If you guys don't know, this is going to be mine and Zombie Grub's last official coverage of the VSL, but it will still be happening on English, and it will still be happening on BaseTradeTV. It's going to be Maynard and Zeph covering going forward. So these are the first matches in the round of 8. Today we're going to be casting our boy ByuL versus Impact and Classic versus Zest. So 2 mirror matchups. Someone earlier, I think it was CK Walsh, said Zombie Grub doesn't look too enthusiastic about the cast today. You know what, guys? We're up at fucking 3 a.m. for 2 best of 5s. This stream, they're mirror matchups. This is going to last like an hour, okay? Nobody wants to be awake for an hour. We're not going to hit peak viewership. It's the worst. But
That's okay.
Yeah,
We play
it's good.
Mass
It's going to be good games. It's our boy ByuL. Fuck it. We're awake and we're here and we're good to go.
I am attempting to eat or drink, rather, coffee that is mostly black. I don't like it, Rifkin.
Apollo looks really curious about that cup.
He's actually.
I would like some coffee, please. I'm a bit tired. God, can you imagine giving you either of like any of your cats coffee? I
God,
did
no.
a stream briefly yesterday while you were covering Mass Effect, and I tuned in at the time. Baby was like meowing really loud.
Ow!
What's funny for me is I've heard that stupid meow so many times, I immediately went like, "Oh, that's Baby." But I love how Stasio was in chat. He's like, "What? I thought that was coming from the game." Like,
Yeah, that's pretty
random
funny.
cat sounds.
Yeah, and I can talk about Andromeda a little bit now that I've, played it.
Yeah, I didn't actually stick around for long. How far did you get into it? Like, you just passed the
Well,
opening area, or?
Just like Fall Fantasy 15, I'm sitting way too long doing side quests.
No,
So
that's okay.
it took me
Yo, same
very
boat.
long
I'm not
time.
even gonna judge you. I'm in the same category.
I guess it was two things. It was really twofold, right? I do a lot of quests when I'm in the ship, when I finally get to the station, and then
Are you
when I was
gonna
on the planet,
are you gonna romance Suvi? If you're gonna romance Suvi,
maybe.
I'm
So
gonna watch
I
every minute of that.
I pre-looked to see what gender I should be.
You look at
and
you're
it
like,
wasn't.
Mass Effect romance options. Google.
Yeah, basically. I wasn't too enthused by the straight male options. Like one or like I guess like the two that are
Yo,
available.
the alien
right
options
now.
actually make me really uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, like some
The-
of the aliens I'm not on board with, and
Have you met the Angarians yet? The new alien race in the game? Not the bad guys, but the good guys.
No.
Dude, they look like giant penises. Like I just can't. I
Well,
can't see it. Like
I
unsee
saw
it.
pictures of the people. 'Cause they're, because the people that you can romance. So, anyways, I'll probably. I mean, I might romance her. Liam actually has a very good accent, so let's see what his personality is.
No,
Like.
Suvi's like Scottish accent or whatever, dude.
I
am
know.
like all about
I googled
that.
it.
All
But
about that.
They got to be cool first, you know, because that's like the thing. I think if I look
Oh, for
at
fuck's
Mass
sake,
Effect
Zombie
romances when I first started playing Mass Effect 1 or
Look,
2,
Mass Effect romances are about smash or pass, okay? There's none of this like are they cool bullshit. This isn't somebody you're bringing home to meet your parents, okay?
What is it? Is Smash the Pass?
Smash or pass. It's pretty simple.
Oh. No.
It's very self-explanatory.
No. No. I was gonna go into this whole talk about how, like, if I had looked up romances in Mass Effect 1 or 2, that I probably would not have been totally like on board with like romancing Tally, for instance, because I would be like, what the shit? Like, how am I supposed to romance this thing? But now that I know Tally, of course I want to romance her.
All right, so looks like matches are getting going here in a moment, guys. We got the weird hand gestures coming out of players with the animations. Rosetown Rugger says spoilers are great. Thanks, dude. If you think talking about romance options in Mass Effect are spoilers, you're gonna live a very tough life.
Oh, right?
I
Like,
suggest
calm down.
manning up.
Calm down. Also, I try to play on difficult, like hardcore. Yeah, hardcore. And someone
Good
was
luck
just, like,
with the
in chat.
environments.
Well, someone in chat was just like, it's really not that fun. It's
No,
not, like, a
you
fun
get to breathe
difficulty.
air for like 3 seconds, and you got to retreat back to the ship, and then 3 seconds. Or I started the same way, and I didn't go down to casual, but I went to normal very quickly. I was like, "F this."
Yeah,
This
I
is
went to
not
normal.
fun.
But now it's a little bit too easy. I just like run everywhere. I picked Vanguard again because that's the one I like playing the most.
I normally play Vanguard actually with shotgun, but this time I'm trying Adept just to see how it goes. But anyways, guys, enough about Mass
Why would you
Effect
play an Adept?
because I want to win. Anyways, enough about Mass Effect. Looks like the games are getting going here in just a moment. Again, Impact without glasses looks strange. I gotta set up screen regions real quick, so just uno momento. And of course, yeah, everyone in chat better be cheering for ByuL, because if you don't know much about ByuL, all you need to know is he's actually on a BaseTradeTV sponsored team. Team looking for team.
Oh, Impact looks so weird.
I know. I got nothing against the guy, and he took his glasses off after his matches yesterday. And it looked fine, but it's just like weird because it's
Angle,
different.
the light, I don't.
It's like if I took my glasses off for the cast, I feel like this is weird. I can't even see anything. I'm blind as a freaking bat. All I know is that I can see Impact's thing kind of if I super squint my eyes. Like I look really.
Wow, that's pretty bad.
I imagine. I don't know. You have to get stream on to confirm for me. I imagine I look really skeptical trying to squint and see like that. It's like.
Okay, so I also want to talk about the facial animations, but thank you to Will Peterson for the new sub.
The
See
facial
that?
animations are so fucking bad. Oh my god.
Okay, so here's the
But
thing, though,
it's
right?
not just the facial animations; it's everything.
It's for me. They're not really as bad as they're not any worse for me than they are, like they were in Dragon Age Inquisition or Mass Effect 2 or whatever. Like the Bioware's always had questionable animation, and every single time I'd want to point that out, I felt like no one else was noticing. So I would just get over it basically, and I feel like I just got over Andromeda. The only thing that makes me laugh is that there are extras basically that show up behind you in scenes, and oh my god, they're so, like, the hair. I found some guy that had an orange fro, like an orange like
Bob
curly
Ross?
like fro. It was worse than Bob Ross.
Was it Carrot Top?
It was like Carrot Top, and Bob Ross had a baby. And I was like, what is happening here?
Well, you understand
Yeah.
biologically that's actually a very difficult task to pull off. So that human being existing is actually impressive.
600 years from now, we're gonna
600 years from now, cryogenics ruin your facial muscles, and that's why the animations they're too true to life, is what it is.
I also love that sometimes I look so I'm like constantly like this. Like I made my character just constantly
I
like
don't have your camera on anymore.
unbelieving. Well, I just try to describe it. It's just she doesn't believe anyone. She just has like an eyebrow up.
Have we never seen this intro before?
Dude, no one plays on Proxima on this damn series.
I know. Yeah, it just they keep going 2 O's and like 2 1s. So I guess yeah, we never get to it. But Proxima Station gonna be the showdown for our boy ByuL versus Impact. Now I do want to once again go over a couple things. We're gonna have to do some syncing up in just a moment. Top right, it's gonna be the red Zerg for team. Looking for team. I almost said BaseTradeTV. It's ByuL.
I'm behind you. So, okay, the bottom left, as the blue Zerg, he is Impact.
All right, so yeah, for those who don't know, this is a clean feed provided to us directly from VSL. So it is being done through a private link on YouTube. We got to sync this up. So I'm at 40. Where are you at, girl?
37, 38, 39, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Boom! Now we're good to go. All right.
Okay, cool.
Should be totally synced up. When you said 40, I thought you said Wardy for a minute. I was like, whoa. What did he have to do with any of this?
All right, so Impact did go for an early pull with gas, and ByuL, bit uncharacteristic for the map, but luckily for this, goes for hatch gas first. So he should have everything that Impact has just a little bit later, like the tiniest little bit later.
So we've actually not seen, I just want to like really stress this for people, we've really not seen a lot of ZvZs on the Korean scene. And we cast the Elima League, BTSL, you name it, we're there type thing. And I actually, coming into this, I normally have a pretty good idea of at least a guesstimation where these players are at. And I love ByuL. I know his ZvZs are right, but I have no idea where Impact's at. I have no idea what the ZvZ is going to look like. This could either be really close, really far, really one-sided. Like, I actually don't know.
I mean, I have no idea either. I want to say that ByuL just has been, of course, having better performances overall.
The base
but Impact's really didn't look that bad in that TVZ that we cast. His ZVP was wonky and questionable in terms of skill overall, but a TVZ like flipped it almost. Like now it's like, okay, is Impact okay?
Did you just tag me in chat?
I did. Yes.
Like, Rifkin, I need this highlighted. You must read this message that you would have probably read anyways.
Just in case you didn't.
I love it. But yeah, so Impact actually, I'm glad you brought that up. Like, at least based on the matches we saw yesterday, and if you guys missed it, it was a whole group stage, blah, blah, blah. Didn't look like he was bad as a player, but it was maybe the matchup of ZVP that was like question marks, right? Like, kind of weird,
yeah.
kind of different, whatever. But ByuL now gets a good scout. He sees not only does Impact coming across the map, he's coming across the map with a lot. Back at home, his own Bailey Nest is only just finishing up, and this hatchery being exposed out here, it's gonna buy him some time, but I don't know if he can live through this. This is gonna be tough.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think if he had not taken this base, he might have been in like real trouble, but even then, like he might have been able to save it, like if it was the base behind him, because he was going for a Bailey Nest that was either very defensive or perfectly timed out with his own attack. Like he had speed finishing up with his Bailey Nest, and it was of course very early because he also went for like a hatch or a pool gas or gas pool, something like that, before his hatchery. So like he had everything prepared that you would need to. It was just 10 seconds too late to save a hatchery, but Impact's hatchery really isn't that far along. And ByuL still has, 3-4 army supply lead. Or, not army supply, drones.
Yeah. Well, actually, what ends up working out well is because things were so late. Ooh.
Oh, hey.
Ooh, those sneaky Bailings coming on the other side of the map. Well, maybe Impact didn't either. He's so focused on what's going on over here. Happy and perhaps content with killing the hatchery. Not going to be looking at home. Maybe. Oh, something just got it. Lingsot. Drones aren't getting pulled, though. Oh, 7 hits are good.
That is so good. I mean, Impact was just getting up to ByuL's amount of drones, and then just a nice little bit faster in the hatchery. To go back down 7 drones is actually kind of devastating.
Yeah, this was actually a game where Impact was going to be slightly ahead, because of the way the hatchery got canceled and killed, etc. And this, for ByuL, was supposed to be at best like an even game. Getting a lead like that, that's skills, that's clever, that's goddamn awesome.
Yeah, that is also a bit lucky, too. Like, his 2 lings, they were slow lings. Those are the ones that scouted the all-in coming. And Impact could have very easily sent one of his lings even to, like, chase those down because they were still on move command. But, he just was like, oh, hey, it was actually didn't die. And they were absolutely perfect for the situation. So now ByuL should even have, I would say, like, a huge lead in, like, a minute here. But, maybe a Baneling hit will change things around.
Well, someone in the chat, by the way, real quick, was asking, like, isn't ByuL sponsored by BaseTradeTV? I heard something about that. Yeah. We made a fun team. It's like a totally fake team, but team looking for team with him. And
at what point is it no longer a fake team?
Once he gets the jersey.
Ah. Whoa.
But yeah, so he's actually sponsored by us. We're giving him some bucks every month, and it's thanks to you guys who are the subscribers that we can afford to do it. Now, granted, ByuL is probably worth a lot more than we can afford to pay him, but the idea is that we're going to try and give him as much exposure as possible, you know? Big bumps, big ads, like it's BaseTradeTV, right? So hoping we can help him find a team after 30 days, but our goal is to sponsor him for 3 months if we can.
Yeah.
Which means we're totally biased and unfair in the matchup.
Well, that's true. I mean, you were literally saying that you should better be cheering for ByuL.
Yeah. Actually, I would say that, though. I think even if we weren't sponsoring him, just generally speaking, ByuL is one of the players who has maybe not had crazy results, and he doesn't have the legacy Sue does with second place finishes. But he is a player who is good enough that I would say you should cheer for him.
Well, yeah. I mean, if it was anyone else, I really would be building up Impact's story as, you know, the veteran for sure. I think actually might be well, it's hard to say, I suppose. Impact might be in StarCraft longer than ByuL. Impact was in Brood War too.
Yeah, he had that whole story about like Jaedong and stuff.
Hard to say, actually. They're probably pretty close. So, anyways, besides the point. But anyways, it's you know, then he was on Axiom, and you know we really liked him, and he had like that breakup performance like for 1 month, and he went back to not so much, and then maybe he was out of StarCraft 2 with the whole Disbandment of Pro League, but then he came back and then got hired in Dead Pixels, which was totally non-announcement, totally surprising. I mean, there's actually a lot to talk about for Impact, but it's like nope.
I feel like there's almost this degree of like, did he really get picked up, or did he just live in the house with patience?
Give me a jersey. I don't have anything to wear.
Exactly. My clothes are dirty, and someone sees it and they're like, "Oh, you must be on Dead Pixels." You're like, "Yeah, Dead Pixels, my new team, yeah." All these Baileys are gonna spawn in just the right time, just the right moment. You're also gonna run through with quite a bit of links. So you can get a kill on this queen, and that means those drones are gonna go down too. He pulls them a little bit late, and this is a bit rough. Impact taking some pretty hard losses here on this side of the map.
Yeah. So the lead for ByuL really came into the slight timing of the Spire, but also just the amount of mutas he got and the fact that he could also afford +1. So while the numbers don't look so bad right now, I think the actual state of the game is still ByuL favored.
Yeah, even if the mutas were a lot closer in number, that +1 makes a considerable difference in the early upgrades. Later on, when you start talking about like 2-2 versus 2-1 and stuff like that, really doesn't matter nearly as much, I feel. But in low muta counts, that +1 armor, that's huge. So he takes the initial fight, not a problem. Impact gonna regret this. He's also supply blocked because of that Overlord getting picked off, so he can't even build more mutas until these ones die.
Like you lose a muta fight, you lose the game.
Yeah, and I love that he's ignoring the queen too, just to go for the rest of the mutas. He's gotten them. He's gotten them.
Yeah, those are all of the guys in this. GG.
I was gonna say real quick, did he even target that queen, or she died of glaive worms? Is what it looked like the bounce.
There's like a couple mutas targeting her, but.
I'm gonna guess this Pokery Sweat. Popular.
It looks like the bottle, yeah, where they rip the tab off.
Yeah. I love that they do it. They're so identifiable, but they're like, yeah, we can't show that. We're not sponsored by them. It's not.
Yeah, if it was like a green color, I guess it's also the green tea bottle, but.
Well, Impact looking a little bit defeated after that first game, but I think the frustrating thing is this is a mirror matchup, and no matter what player you are, TVT, PvP, ZvZ, like this matchup, like there's no advantages to gain. You have to actually play it pretty perfectly. On a side note, did you see the community update from yesterday?
I did, yeah.
I love the direction they're looking at some of these things, but the one that killed me, like, don't get me wrong, I'll make this clear. More praise than, like, more positive than negative, right? But when they're like, oh, we're looking at the PvZ matchup, but things look pretty even, I'm like, on what scale? Like Bronze League? Like, PvZ is not, it has not been like an even matchup for a while, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, their exact quota is why we aren't necessarily seeing any imbalance in win rates. Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean,
turn on a stream once in a while, David Kim.
Well, it's the same thing they said for ByuL and Fester, which is like ZVP. So.
By the way,
50% win record because two-base immortal and works.
I am being hyperbolic and silly, but it is a little bit frustrating too because you look at that stuff and you're like, as a fan, you watch BaseTradeTV, you watch VSL, and you don't see the same things reflected. In fact, if you're just watching Korean StarCraft, you're just seeing Terrans dominate everything.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter.
Well, loading into Nuclear Precinct, we've seen this map many times. For this ZvZ, he's up 1 game, playing for BaseTradeTV. Give him your cheers. It's ByuL.
Oh. Wow, Impact is
cheeky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, in the bottom left, there's the blue Zerg. It's Impact.
I wonder how much of a degree when you're playing in person like this, like you're obviously spending 99% of your focus on the game, but I'm wondering in your peripheral vision, do you see somebody look like really nervous and it's like Impact's trying to not make it look like it's obvious that he's cheesing and he's like pretending to APM when there's nothing to APM, you know, that sort of thing?
I'm pretty sure no. I can't think of a... Well, I mean, first of all, you know, the Koreans already have a stereotype of having, like, great poker faces anyway.
Yeah.
And then second of all, I don't think they care, like, this really is, for a lot of Zerg players, just, like, nothing cheeky about it. This is just what they're gonna do. Whereas maybe for, like, I don't know, maybe, like, Scarlet would be smiling if she was, like, up against Neeb right now, carrying, like, a Ling.
Well, I will say, I like that ByuL at least didn't play greedy with a hatch first. If he had done a hatch first, this would be pretty miserable to deal with. He does have the spawning pool on the way. If he's not greedy with drones, Queen comes out right away. Like, this isn't being matched up with a Baneling nest out of Impact. This is just lots of Lings early. Their goal, cancel/kill the natural and maybe get some leads in the main while taking a hatchery back at home. So, it's totally manageable. Yeah, he does throw down the Baneling nest, but that's so far out that I don't think it's going to be an immediate concern. But this will judge whether he goes super duper all in after getting the kill cancel on that hatchery, and he's seeing whether he's going to commit or try and macro get ahead.
Yeah. You kind of just have to commit, though, if you get the Baneling nest anyways. You gotta try. Getting a hatchery is just not usually gonna be okay. ByuL is a little bit supply blocked. He can't actually do anything about these Lings without pulling the drones until this overload finishes, so already a bit of a good start for Impact. Speed for the finish. Like 10 seconds here. Don't really need it, though. Hatchery's gonna die anyways. There it is.
Well, the good thing was, cancel. So, all that money comes back. You can throw in that spine crawler if you get really desperate. Queen's out of position, though, for ByuL. Oh, that should have been much more safely kept to the back. Drones get pulled a little bit too late. He doesn't have Banelings on the way. He needed that Queen to shoot the Banelings from afar. That's where the spine crawler becomes really important, but that's so far out. New Queen's on the way, but these 2 Banelings could end ByuL's life.
Yes, they could. Spine crawler's about to finish up, and the Queen does pop out, but probably too late. Drone pull. I didn't think that drone was gonna work. That's super weird to me. I thought for sure all the drones were gonna die, but 7 drones still die. 1 Baneling hit followed by those Lings, so that is a significant lead for Impact.
Yeah, 7 workers up. This looks very familiar to last game, but just in a role reversal.
Yeah, I mean, Impact should not take any, like, counter damage. They both have the same tech. The only thing ByuL has is the spine crawler to feel a little bit safe. If he had only lost 4 drones and was behind 4 drones instead of, you know, 6 or 5 or whatever, I think this is okay, because, like, again, that spine crawler is actually an investment that's going to be useful later, but, like, 5 workers, just, like, a little bit too much, it feels. And ByuL, of course, also has not slapped down his hatchery yet, so investment Impact's already made.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind Impact has secured a very comfortable spot in this game, but I feel bad. ByuL, like, what can he really do? He doesn't have enough of a force to break in and punish Impact, and on the other hand, he's really slow to his hatchery, so... Oh, I just saw a bit of a hiccup. What time are you at?
4:07, 8, 9.
Okay, we're still synced up. I had this problem with Maynard, where the stream was giving me the odd hiccup here and there, and it was really awkward. Desynced us. But anyways, Banelings are going to actually be well dodged by ByuL. The problem is, though, this still ended up causing a significant amount of time lost mining.
Yeah, it was still worth, even if the... I mean, the Banelings are like a little bit expensive, but this game really, for now, is going to be about the economy and not, like, how much you... how many units you make, I suppose. It's just about who gets the drone advantage, because with Banelings and Lings, like, even if ByuL managed to get, like, 4 army supply lead like it has right now, is that really worth talking about with Banelings in play, Queens defensively, like, all that? Probably not, and it's going to be more about the effects of losing mining now and the army much later. Impact, actually, speaking of army, going to go for a Roach Born. I would say this is actually kind of quick for the game as it is, with the early pool considered. and might be a weak point. Like if ByuL was all inning right now, which I mean, he's like making room, like almost like he wants to with his Overlord supply, but I guess not. It goes back to droning. Yeah, if he was all inning, like it might have been a mistake for Impact to try and reach towards roaches. We've certainly seen games where roaches end up hurting more than helping, but they're just scuffling right now. I believe the so Leoman was the guy that tweeted at VSL, I think, right?
Oh, yeah, Leoman, one of our mods.
Yeah, I think they're actually discussing what you tweeted at them in our chat. So way to go, man.
Oh, what? Oh, VSL chat?
Yeah, VSL chat. Like it worked.
Oh, I just saw a bunch of Korean. I didn't.
Yeah.
Korean into the English where it's in game.
Korean translated to in-game sound is literally like in-game Usenda.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah, I know there's some problems with this yesterday. It wasn't the music, it was just the sound was too low. I don't know if the music is too high or too low in comparison. It might just be that they're not balanced. But anyways, Roach is marching across the map looking to try and end ByuL. And ByuL's sitting here with no army supply. I feel like even with the extra spine crawlers coming down, I don't know if he can hold on. I mean, I love ByuL. I'm cheering for ByuL. Let's good stuff with the Banelings. Gotta take out the Banelings. Okay, now this looks a lot more manageable.
Yeah, that was in fact a really sad amount of Banelings, I would say. Like, how many Banelings can I make that's an investment but could probably be taken out by the spine crawlers?
So here's the important part of this though, guys. There's still going to be Banelings behind this, and if the Lings have like an amazing surround, they can actually kill the Roaches, especially if they're fighting in range of the spine crawlers. But ByuL just threw a lot of his Banelings into said Roaches, and now he doesn't have them to remove the second wave of Banelings, and that's going to protect ByuL from getting surrounded.
Trying to move the spine crawlers, trying to make new spine crawlers. If he can save the drones and save the Lings, this might still not be that bad.
Yeah, I mean, the spine crawlers are out of position right now. It's a little bit awkward, but he kept the drones alive. The Banelings were traded out, so Impact has no Banelings to work with right now. This is so awkward. The Roaches are kind of trapped now.
The Roaches are trapped, but he can't mine. If the Roaches can escape and he's denied this much mining worth.
Like, you're trapped in with me.
Yeah, okay, so he's going to get a partial surround here.
It's going to kill a lot of the Roaches. This is actually working out pretty well. He goes right back to mining, and he's still got all these spines out.
Getting the Roaches, not letting them leave, which I guess they could never really leave. There's too many Lings. Does make it kind of more questionable as a game.
I mean, these are really good moves out of ByuL. Credit where it's due, but keep in mind, guys, these spines, that's like a massive mineral sink of an investment, the extra queens that were made too. So he's not exactly leading behind this. Just a good defense to start.
I mean, he's 9 drones behind. 6 of those were like spine crawler attempts, you know, so... But Impact's gonna get to a spire, or not a spire, a layer faster. I don't think he's gonna go for a spire anyways. He's still investing in his Roaches. But yeah, the layer's gonna be faster, Roach speed's gonna be faster, +1's gonna be faster. Impact has all the leads, but ByuL has managed to survive. If he can deny a third base like 3 or 4 times, that would be a good start to coming back. While also getting his own, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like, watching cool moves like a defense like that is certainly always impressive. It's, you know, you're never going to win a game just defending. Well, I shouldn't say that. Sometimes you defend all in and win. But the point is, like, he has to do a little bit more, and sitting on spine crawlers, that's not going to last forever.
Mm.
Trying to make the Banelings in the back. I mean, credit A for effort, right? I think is the phrase.
I'm not sure. Should have done that.
So this is kind of cool. This is where ByuL might be able to start making some waves.
Okay.
The Spire comes out, and that's going to be what kills Roaches on the ground, despite their investment for speed, despite their investment for ranged weapons.
Yeah, I like this choice. If you just go Roaches, you're really banking on... Well, Roach versus Roach, you can't do anything about. Even if you have like a better concave, it's going to be way more Roaches for impact. But you could get like Ling run-bys, which ByuL is totally set up to do, but I still think it would come down to numbers. So I do like the Spire a little bit better. Keep Impact feeling very guarded on his 3 bases. Impact's already on his way to an Infestation Pit. He might have figured that it was a Spire, even if he hasn't scouted it yet. Which he's like about to. That was so weird. Was that another structure? That didn't look like a Spire initially.
I don't know. Maybe it was just because of the size changing as it grew. I have no explanation.
It was weird. Well, okay, now he knows what it is. Even if that was something else. Maybe that was the Baneling?
Great Baneling hit out of Impact.
Yeah, very good. That's denies ByuL's any chance for ByuL to actually get something in here. He's taken a 3rd base that's kind of like secret, and I really like that if you're gonna go for a Spire.
So I definitely like some of the stuff ByuL's doing, but I actually really like what Impact's doing. Yeah, Pathaging lands on the way. That alone can sometimes be enough to deal with the mutas. But the fact is that it's Hydras behind that. They've got the extra health. They can eat the extra Baneling hit, right? Like, well, potentially. We did math on this last time and it went really badly. But the point is, like, they've got more health. They can sustain more damage. And I think dealing with the mutas shouldn't be too much of a struggle. It might be a problem initially, as we usually see, but once the Infestors are out and they banked up some energy, and once the Hydras have clumped up, I think these mutas will be totally manageable.
And ByuL did manage to get to a decent number of mutas right off the bat.
Oh, no, he's going to scout top right. I can't go there. Damn, I just tried to click.
Okay. The thing is that he might not be able to do anything about it. Like, if you're going to go Roach, Hydra, and Fester, your army is slow and meant to be all together. Impact might invest into 20 Lings, but then that's something that ByuL might be able to defend.
I like what Impact just did because we're watching the mini-map. Those Lings that are running around the top right, they scouted the top right base, ran away, did like a double take, and came back to be like, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, that's real.
Oh, wait a second. I mean, ByuL is going to start, yeah, I was going to say, he's going to have like an excess of minerals, so getting a 4th base as well is not out of the question, and getting, if he reaches to like 60 drones over Impact 56, gets a little bit better economy, it goes into all Baneling Muta, there's still a chance here, but Impact's army should just be better. There's just, it's up to Impact really to mess up this game, as it has been for the 6 minutes. That's a lot of mutas, but they were like, there are a lot of overloads rather, but they were like a bait, so all the mutas are gonna die. Oh god, they actually survived.
Wow. Well, muta regen's pretty nice. So
Hydra's on Queen's in the front line. That could have been worse.
That should have been worse, if we're gonna be honest.
Yeah, true. And also a little bit of judgment for ByuL. Like, I mean, those overloads were awfully close to the main base. That was just asking to be fungled, but oh well. Queen's gonna be helpful. They're gonna ensure the Infestors don't get picked off. They're gonna help the Hydras if it ended up being that, you know, usually even trade until the Hydra are left against the mutas. These Queens are helpful, but maybe a tad unnecessary. Like, Impact's army is pretty good. But they can also tank Banelings, by the way. They're like fat Archons on the front lines.
I feel like their transfuses are gonna be the most valuable thing. But yeah, they can do it. The Queens are like the miracle unit. They can slice, dice, up, down, heal, like soak damage. No gas cost. Great unit.
4th base is just a given. It's never being used. There's one fungal, but there's also too many Hydras. So either way, ByuL cannot engage his army.
Yeah, I like that he's actually cutting off reinforcements. It's a way more effective way to use the mutas because they are essentially useless otherwise.
Yeah. I don't even think ByuL has a Baneling army.
Yeah, that means he can't defend this top right base.
He must have Banelings, but I think he's keeping them in the natural. If he could chase the Hydras on the backside, then that might have been really good. But yeah, it's not even that many Banelings. Run, drones!
I mean, he's only lost 2 drones. He's gonna lose the base, and that kind of sucks. But
he's banking minerals. He could double expand. Like, if he had a sick counterattack right now that killed Impact's natural in 3rd and double expanded behind that, this is like a real game.
That's what the Banelings want to do. The Hydras realize that they fall back behind the mineral lines. Using them on drones is maybe not the best idea.
Right.
I don't know.
I was gonna say that might not be worth. There's still a lot of Hydras coming back with his main army.
You know what, though?
The Hydras set might be worth.
He did just.
Oh, the Infestors.
There's the bundle. I was gonna say 2 weird things happen through this though. First off, he Shrek the Overlord count of Impact. So Impact is like hardcore supply block. Secondly, though, I feel like the army supply of ByuL just there's nothing left over. Like even if Impact can't make reinforcements, what he has is good enough to win the game.
Agreed. Yeah, he killed it. The thing was, like, if he had killed a natural or 3rd base, or ideally both, and then Impact got fuzzled basically and started like splitting up his army, that's when the mutas are gonna pick off 4 Hydras at a time, 2 Infestors, like that. That does make it into an interesting game, but without that chaos, there's just no way that ByuL's army is gonna win. Impact just needs to actually, you know, solidify the win here, force them to tap out. Kind of freebie Queens if Lings could accompany the mutas. If the Lings don't, then the couple mutas will die taking those on. That's no, it's not gonna happen. Looks like ByuL's also used up all of his minerals on things, so no double expand for him.
Problem is, like investors, they're great for dealing with mutas, so we know this already. They're good at dealing with lings too.
That's what I was talking about, right? Like 1 muta already died.
Oh god, there's a fungal.
Okay, a lot more gonna go down. That's the only fungal.
Ah, but you know what? The Hydra's kind of almost baited into this with that fungal. They go to the front line, but the Banelings, they get some good connects, not good enough. ByuL's army supply is still down half that of his opponent. So while there was a sneaky base taken in the top left, you know, credit where it's due. GG. Impact will tie up the series 1-1.
Yeah. Makes more sense.
Well, normally this is where we would interject an ad break, but I don't think VSL takes breaks, guys, so we'll probably have to do that a little bit later. So consider sticking around when we do finally run ads, because it would certainly help us a lot. We're not actually... I want to explain this objectively. There's no whining here, okay? I want to make this clear. If we were paid $0, we would still wake up to cast this. Probably. But because this is going to be such a short cast today, because there's no interjection for ad breaks, we are really not actually making any money doing this. So, and this isn't like a plea for donations. It's not a plea for bets. I just want to be clear. When we ask you guys to watch the ads, or we choose to play ads here and there, that is how we make our living, and we do appreciate those who actually take the time to watch or disable ad block or what have you. So I think we're only going to get a chance to probably play 2 ads today, if I had to guess. That's probably between the best of 5s and after the best of 5s. But looks like they're about ready to go. I can see the lobby up on the in-game screen, so I'm just going to swamp back over, actually. You can see they've all joined in. And the map is Belshir Vestige.
So I assume the finals of this tournament is a best of 7.
Yeah, because nobody's cool like us and does best of 9s.
Hey. But I just bring that up because there are only 5 maps. I'm guessing they do it like the Elite League for that too. Restart the map pool.
Yeah, probably. It's interesting to see that that's becoming more common, I guess. What would you rather see? I guess we'll wait till the intros are done because this goes quick. Slow links, slow banelings into tanks. It makes me so mad. All right, spawning in the top left, tied 1-1 with his opponent. It is the Red Zerg, ByuL. And he's going to be returning the favor.
Well, Impact's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
God, in the bottom right, as the blue Zerg, it's Impact.
It's not quite the same thing. Impact went for gas first for this, so he's going to maybe have a little bit of an advantage through that. But I was going to ask you, what would you prefer? Like, you've got the style of, like, let's say the ladder maps are so bad that you do cut off 2 of them, right? That's the whole reason we started doing best of 5s or 5 map pools. Would you rather just completely remove 2 broken maps and have the map pool repeat, or make a whole contest or have like a custom map made, like something to take the place of the 2 maps you cut out, so it's still 7 maps?
Nah, that's a tough question. I think I just cut them out. The players would probably prefer that, as far as lining up tournaments and practice.
Yeah.
Not having to think about a new map.
It does.
But,
you know, that's a big part of it too. For those who don't know, we've asked people about this sort of topic before, and basically, if it's not on ladder for them to practice, they don't love the map. The end.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it's like a great map. So, but then on the other hand, like it would be more fun, I think, for viewers and casters.
Yeah, we need more. We need more Fruitlands. What's the Overwatch thing? The world could always use more heroes. StarCraft could always use more Fruitland.
I don't even like Fruitland that much. I always find it funny that people refer back to that one.
I don't think it's a great map, but it is that silly. You zone into the map and you're like, what? This is
true.
real?
So this is kind of funny. A lot of the time, like, okay, well, sometimes on specific maps, the early pool players, the mirror matchup, literally, they go the different paths. So they don't see each other. But funnily enough, they both took the left side on Belshir, so they both met each other without really having to even scout that it's an early pool. They're overlords, and they're both investing into Banelings, but Impact invested a little bit earlier. I mean, Impact's just kind of earlier, a little bit earlier to everything. Baneling, Queen, Speed. Does ByuL have a Queen? No, he has Queen. Okay, I guess that's what ByuL got out of this, is a faster tune. Very interesting. So hard to call early pool games.
Yeah, without that proper scouting too, that question about gas comes into play. But ByuL's not taking such a great link fight. Speed kicks in for Impact, and ByuL has to stand his ground and fight. He's going to lose the links either way. Now he's getting to the top of the ramp. I mean, a lot of those things have been softened up. I don't know if this queen will go down too easily, but the concern really lies with those banelings. 2 of them coming in. He's got to dive on 1. He's got to keep him getting to that drone line. Pops the banelings for banelings. That means actually cleaning up these lings might not be so bad. You consider one baneling is supposed to one-hit all the lings. Oh, he's not paying attention. Well, that's not going to kill a lot. But, in fact, that's going to be really awkward. But the thing was, like, it's probably more efficient. Oh, this one's going to be bad. That's going to be game.
That's bad. Oh, ByuL's even paying attention.
Rip.
Oh, boy. They both have the same exact tech. This is just, it's just straight up loss for ByuL. Down 9 workers. That's basically, I would say, unrecoverable. Home.
Well, the point I was gonna make there, just to finish that off, since I tried it like 4 times, might as well finish it. Was GG. The banelings would actually be less efficient on the lings that are all gonna get one shot by the queens. So I kind of like the idea of not using them on them, but instead trading for the banelings. But anyways, Impact. I know he didn't do it, but kind of looked like he was doing a bit of a fist pump there, like yes. Like 2-1 now over ByuL. Now, for those who don't know, the VSL has like a really cool prize pool, and it's an individual league, and it's in a studio, and all these good things. But there's actually a really cool like side factor to this, and that is the top 4 players in the tournament get to pick the teams for the VSL Team League. So it's like this is like phase 1 of the Team League. Well, this is like the individual tournament. There's prize money for first place. It's almost like a giant qualifier for the Team League if you think about it.
Nope. Yeah.
Well, anyways, this is a best of 5, so ByuL's got 1 more life before he's out, and I'm rooting for him about as hard as I can.
My cat almost fell. It was funny.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to call you out on this earlier. So I saw you streaming Mass Effect, right? We had that discussion.
Yeah.
But there was only 1 camera.
I remembered the cat cam. I didn't forget, but I didn't know where to put it for Mass Effect. Like, I know exactly where to put it for StarCraft 2 because there's a bunch of like Dead Space in StarCraft 2, right? But I don't know.
I think you overestimate how much people care about the screen in Mass Effect.
Well, maybe. It's more like if someone like literally just put it in the bottom left, that would have been like, okay, fine. But anyways, I also am not sure I have enough of the cable, right? So I ordered a USB extender. Plus, Apollo was on my lap.
Oh, that reminds me, totally unrelated, by the way. I noticed Artosis had a bad case of the zombie grubs with his webcam while he's streaming today. We had tiny little Tosis in the bottom right of like the Brood Wars screen, like tinier than you were even doing.
It's funny because, well, I guess again we'll get out of intros.
Yo! Oh! Hold up, is this the guy? Is this for real? Nifty? My man, I've tweeted to you so many times. You're probably sick of me bitching and complaining and asking a million questions. The Bit Boss battle thing. Oh, top right, it's ByuL. The Bit Boss battle thing is without a doubt the best thing that's happened to our stream in a while. It's a lot of fun, and I'll talk more. You do the intro real quick.
The bottom right, rather. It is Jesus. The Blue Zerg Impact.
Again? Impact, you madman.
Well, it's working, man.
Well, we'll see if this pulls, if it works. It is Cactus Valley, so you know the spawn locations. Well, he's gonna scout it first. Look at that Overlord. I was just gonna note really quick though to Nifty, if he's still listening. Nifty, it's been a lot of fun, and we started doing stuff where we were giving loot, quote unquote boss loot, to the biggest boss of the day, and like it's been a really fun way to facilitate giveaways. Our friend Nathanius, who I showed your thing to, has actually been loving the crap out of it too. So you got 2 real big fans of this Bit Boss battle, and I can't wait for future updates. I think this thing is the coolest thing.
Yeah. I actually spent so long yesterday making my Bit Boss super cool. Way too long, in fact. With all the alerts that I set up.
Oh, did you make like a bunch of custom sounds and stuff?
I did, yes. It's a waste of time, really. But I don't care. Impact is doing something a little bit different, though. He's not going for a gas. So this is not going to be the full all-in. And as such, if he just gets a cancel on ByuL's base, it's totally worth it. But I was going to mention about Artosis' camera. Like, it's really weird because of course, it's not just because I'm lazy and put my camera small. It's because I prefer small cameras, right? Like, StarCraft in me has never cared about like how big the camera was. It fit into like the small little interface always, so it was always a small camera. That's just the habit that I think everyone who's like began in StarCraft and didn't bother ever learning about Twitch streaming,
I guess, yeah,
has gotten into.
And it kind of falls back to hold that thought for now. We do have the attack commencing. Lings getting on top of ByuL's hatchery. Gonna be super duper annoying. Not fun that he has to consider canceling this, but the drone pull means he doesn't want to, and he's gonna fight for the last. This is risky because ByuL was up a lot of workers. Now he's gonna lose a lot of mining trying to defend this base, and I don't even know if he's gonna defend it.
If he doesn't and he pulls the drones like this, it's so bad.
Yeah, and he's bleeding out the drones. Oh, come on. No.
He might be able to save it. He can lose like two more drones.
He was waiting for the queen. That's what was going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
the
think
thing
he
is, if he
saved it.
holds the hatchery, this ends up being great, but he's losing drones for it. There's so many of them going down. He's got to micro a little bit harder. Micro a little bit further back.
Oh, he cannot lose anymore. He loses 6.
Yeah, the middle walk, it was kind of cool to see. I don't know, like, so 4 workers, like being up 4 workers for impact, he's on his own hatchery too. Like, this is a great position for him to be in.
It is. It's well, this is Impact's position exactly. Again, I mean, ByuL had the second game, was it, on Newkirk, where he did have a lot of the right moves to bring a game back, but it was just such a deficit that he couldn't. So in this situation, I would say this is like, it's what he has to do again, except that the moves have to be so good that they do bring him back here because it's his last life. I don't know if it can be that good. He does not have speed. He still got guys off of gas, which is very awkward. So it's not like he's going to get a faster third off of this. He does manage to catch up in drones a little bit, though, which is like the benefit of not getting gas. But Impact's already invested into gas again, double gas, in fact. I guess he's going to go for a Roach Warren at the front to wall off. Maybe lose a drone here. Maybe. It'd be helpful. Nah, he's just too low. Get her! Yeah, no.
Well, I don't know, the situation here is tough. You got ByuL who can't do anything too crazy. Keep in mind, guys, he is on his last life. So there's no, like, quick, fast layer, hope for the mutas, like, Hail Mary pass. And on the other hand, like, it's tough to play macro when you take losses like that early on. I guess the best thing is, though, like, keeping that hatchery alive. That was his lifeline, so he is still alive. But just like the hatchery's health, it's not looking so great.
that slow beeps on the lifeline. Beep. I think he survive long enough though to have a chance at like a counterattack. Because again, all it takes is like one really good Ling attack on like the third base, for instance, gets a kill, not a cancel, and you're already in a better position. But Impact is making a lot of roaches, rather, getting a layer, but still a lot of roaches, and there's not really any Lings here to make the game a little more than just the numbers game.
Well, I just want to actually address something else here. I know that we're kind of trying to get this topic going and discussion about like the whole WCS thing in chat. Today's gonna be such a short cast. I really would love to talk about that, but I'd save it for like after the games are done because there's some certainly interesting points of it to discuss.
Yeah, it's of course I haven't read the entire thing yet, so conjecture.
Yeah. Anyways, I guess it'll be the impromptu base trade talk show, whatever you want to call it. Seems to only happen when players get in trouble, am I right?
Hey, this is not us putting them in trouble this time.
Yay! Don't worry, I'll still get blamed for it at the end of the day. There'll be a Rifkin Reddit thread up. Just
well, it is they're in the BaseTradeTV house. I don't know.
Yo, speaking of Reddit threads, that stupid shitpost from yesterday blew the fuck
number one.
up. I woke up with like 94 notifications or something like that. I've never had that happen before on Reddit.
I had a dream that I was losing out on Reddit karma.
Oh, so you didn't wake up at all and it was just, who cares?
It was a nightmare.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
I just wonder why. I think what my mind did in my dream was that it instead of like YouTube likes and dislikes, it was like YouTube and Reddit karma. So the fact that my videos were all getting like bad karma.
You had like dream anxiety over fake internet points.
Right, exactly.
I guess like, 2 negatives make a positive, so it kind of makes sense.
It was a pretty dumb dream, to be honest. But anyways, so ByuL does have the disadvantage in this game. He doesn't have +1 on the way, and he is still down about 10 army supply. It just is a fact. And he's also not finished his third, so he's a little bit behind in a lot of different ways. And again, there's no Lings to really mix things up, so now it's really going to come down to maybe catching a section of roaches off guard, or maybe getting better corrosive bile hits if they would make Ravagers. But unfortunately, being roach versus roach, it's usually just numbers.
Mm. Well, I guess for when it comes to numbers, there are some small, like very small exceptions where lower numbers can win. And that's with like positioning and cool tactics and all these other things, but Impact with Burrow and Tunneling Claws is guaranteeing he won't have trouble with positioning. And maybe there's the sneak attack element, right? Like, okay, that's always cool. But you can burrow, run away, disengage, heal up so fast that roach damage can't even kill you. Like, you can reposition very easily with these abilities.
My bad. ByuL had +1. I would know that if they used a good overlay. I'm just saying. Now they're showing.
I just wish that if they were going to use the WCS overlay, like I got to use my real mouse for a second, guys, so you can see the YouTube bar. This thing down here in the bottom right would just get fixed. It tilts me so badly that they're using a slightly customized version of the WCS overlay so that it doesn't fit properly and make sense.
But that's I mean, it's something important to know because we're talking about positioning, but technically there is like a 15-second advantage, something like that, with +2 here. So I mean that could help. Yeah, and then we talked about the Burrow and Tunneling Claws, which ByuL's also getting. So they both max out, but one has a better attack, pop-up, shark attack than the other. That could be huge. The burrowed roaches coming in here. There are overseers already, though. Berserk players honestly have gotten very good at building overseers as soon as, almost, their lair finishes. Especially if they're going to go for roaches. Just for this, I would expect. Like, they're pretty consistent about it. Impact's using his to contaminate, which is awesome. That's going to put his +2 now ahead, I think, which is pretty cool. Very good use of contaminate.
I mean, it's going to be awesome if he can take a fight. But
it's going to be like 5 seconds ahead, but the point is it's not 15 seconds behind anymore.
That's true, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, they were never that far apart that it was like, oh my god, this is just time. There's no time. They're like perfectly even now. In fact, Impact had 2 overseers. I wondered.
Well, I was actually going to note too. What's interesting is because of the Tunneling Claws, I think especially, there's actually a lot more investment in roaches and not so many Ravagers. And we're so used to watching, like, you know, Nurture Snoot, layer after layer, Ravager, Corrosive Biles coming down. But, Impact's going to get a better position for this. The Spine Claw is going to help a little bit, sure, but ByuL's going to have to keep backing away from this fight. Or maybe not. Charges on forward. Says, you know what? Damn the Corrosive Biles. I'll just fight through it. Sandwiches from behind a little bit. Might get the focus fire on Impact.
Oh my god, how did they get that timing?
Okay,
we did. +2 and Impact doesn't.
Okay, this ends up being such a sick fight for ByuL. For somebody who was like not in the greatest spot maybe going into this, he now has like a 7 army supply lead and defends the base simultaneously.
There's like a 5-second lead right there. Okay, well that's bizarre. I didn't expect that to happen. But roaches do get in the natural in the main base. They're really not doing a ton of damage. You're gonna get a queen.
Well, 3 roaches can one-shot the drones, so this is where you start bleeding on some of those workers, and that's kind of annoying. But he could also just burrow the workers, right? Like, this always bothers me. I never see Zerg players do this, and maybe it's too much micro for the worth. But I just feel like if you're gonna start bleeding drones out like this, just burrow them. Like, the Impact doesn't have an overseer back there. He can't see those drones.
It's a decent question. What's worse, losing 4 drones or burrowing your entire mineral line for 2 seconds?
I feel like burrowing's got to be more valuable, but it's just you don't think about it, I guess, or I don't know. Maybe 6 extra APM is just not worth it. I really don't know. I don't play Zerg.
I mean, I would burrow them, and then I'd forget that they were burrowed. Never have any mining whatsoever.
I have 50 workers, but I have no income.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe all you need to do is take a gold base.
ByuL is moving in the middle of the map. He does have a slight armor supply lead.
Okay, ByuL pushes through the Corrosive Biles. That's kind of a cool move. So that's kind of like how Terran takes these engagements. But Impact kind of being aware of this now is layering the Corrosive Biles in front of ByuL. So it's a little bit harder to dance. He's taking bad fights. There's a lot more Ravagers for Impact. But once that Roach wall falls apart, that's where ByuL's going to crush those Ravagers.
Oh, it doesn't actually continue forward, though. A lot of his roaches were very low, and he's still losing drones.
But here's the thing, right? He's lost, like, I want to say almost 10 workers over the course of this, right? But he's gotten up like 20 army supply. And as you heal it up, that's another benefit of Burrow. You actually get to heal your army when you're playing Zerg.
Well, Impact should be doing that as well, but the thing is, Impact does have time. So those 9 workers are going to, or 6 workers actually, I can do math. 6 workers might start really showing themselves, especially because he also managed to finish +1. He now has an upgrade lead. Impact still has a good army, despite being down 20 supply. It is still just roaches, though. No one really reaching towards a station pit or high center or anything. Impact does add on a 4th base, utilizing his higher work account soon enough.
Well, you know what's kind of cool is like there is this whole thing where this map is going to actually be really funny watching engagements. Someone in chat brings this up too, but Cactus Valley is just such a wide open area. I feel like either player can optimally get the concave. It's not like, oh, ByuL's always going to get the concave. Like, it's a mirror matchup, guys. The same space to work with. It's about positioning and being willing to take that aggressive stance. I think a lot of Zerg players that we've seen too, you'll see the Corsair ByuLs come down and they'll back away from them. ByuL has consistently pushed through them.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh.
Oh,
okay.
Both players. Okay.
Yeah, they're the exact same time. I mean, this is not so bizarre to see a spy after roaches, right? But it just is the fact that they've been on roaches for like 1.5 remax or something like that. Like, it's usually when you do think of just straight up fights, not necessarily transferring over into mutas, because it's mutas. It's not, no one's got a hive in a position pit.
Yeah, I think Impact have been squeezing out armor upgrades while this goes on too, so he is going to have a slight advantage, but at the end of the day, if somebody can land 14 Corsair ByuLs, upgrades be damned, that's going to hurt. These roaches also going to do some good damage. This actually pulls Impact's army back home.
Oh,
killing the gases? Oh, this is huge. I like this. So as they transition into mutas, the same logic applies, right? Like, you need the gas for them more than anything else. And by losing out on these gases, ByuL guarantees Impact's not going to pull ahead economically without getting some sort of kills.
Impact saw the army movement with his overseer. I'm surprised he still continues to pull. There we go. Now just splitting up his army. But he might have already lost like good positioning. He's going to be going up a ramp, up a choke. This is bad news. He's going to lose his Roach Warren. He is supply blocked as well.
This is so tough. I mean, the Broodlings come in and they're like negligible at best, right? Picking off what he can. ByuL's taking an excellent fight. This is what he needs to take this to game 5.
Yeah, it was it was straight up just a bad move from Impact. He saw the army.
I love the split. So the Ravagers can keep this army kind of like almost, it's like a bluff at the ramp. You know, Impact could push up through this because ByuL's got less units here. He segmented a bunch to go to the right side and start killing the workers, start killing the natural. Same time Impact goes for a counterattack. Picture hype.
Yeah, and 13 mutas are on the way out, but now that ByuL has lost some workers and drones or roaches, he is starting to make his own mutas. So it's going to be like 16 mutas versus like 15, I believe. Something like that. Impact is going to let his mutas clean everything up. I don't think it's quite that low yet. There we go. He just can't get up the ramp without taking severe losses.
Yeah, I mean, everything in the main is guaranteed here to die, and that kind of sucks. I do want to note the +1 weapons coming out of ByuL, even though they know it's going to be muta versus muta. This is kind of cool. This will help clean up the ground army a lot faster, which is honestly probably going to be the bigger threat.
But it's so funny because they are really committing hard to mutas. This wasn't like
you can burn these roaches. Why is he not burning the roaches? There we go.
There you go. It's not like 15 mutas and then you just use them to snipe Ravagers. It's going to turn into almost like a muta versus muta war, but the Spire is dead for Impact.
Yeah,
so this is the only muta he's going to have. 21 to 21.
Yep. ByuL just backs away. I mean, his upgrade's not going to be close enough to finishing for that to matter, but it is just getting like literally the 1 or 2 extra mutas. Corsair ByuL still can do a lot of damage, and he shouldn't be eating those hits. Dodge and weave.
No, wait, now you're hitting your own units.
Well, Impact is now behind in the muta count anyway, so Corsair ByuL's aside, I think that this is still going to go very much in ByuL's favor. It would be difficult for him to lose this game. He just sniped off the 4th base while this went on. So Impact's on 1 hatchery. If there was recovery, there isn't anymore.
No, I don't think so. The Spire's going to win out this game for ByuL. Oh, what a fun game.
Alright, that was a fun game. I'm sure very stressful for both. ByuL just kind of there at the end of the game like, oh, that happened. But he ties it up 2-2, and that's all that really matters because now he gets to take it to the last match and possibly knock Impact out.
Yeah, game 5. And every single game is at an early pool.
You know, I wanna contest this point too. Like, we got this guy in chat. These players suck. You know what? The thing is, if this was Bronze League, you could make that argument. But the fact that they were able to deflect each other to that degree, consider like how that game opened, right? Like, ByuL should have lost that game in so many different ways. The fact that he brought it back from behind was impressive. I really cannot actually find a moment in the game where you can say these players suck. That is just like the actually most wrong statement you could make.
Just say you suck.
Yeah, you suck.
I feel like this game 5 is also going to be an early pool.
I mean, it would have to be, right? It's only been early pools, like all the time, always. I do want to point out, by the way, we were balance whining earlier for jokes. I didn't even look at that round of 8 bracket until now and realized there are 0 Terran. 0 Terran in the top 8.
VSL balancing out their win rates. There we go.
It's the opposite of the Elima League. We're in Bizarro World. Underground's going to be the final map in this best of 5. I do want to remind everybody tuning in that we do have Classic versus S lined up to play after this, and that'll be the last and second best of 5 today.
Great. Well, I keep meaning to ask your opinion on the whole map pool thing, but they keep on early pulling, so...
I guess the map pool is not such a big deal when everyone's just getting early pulled all the time, always.
Yeah, I don't think I do it again here. By the way, Paladino and Abyssal are the maps that aren't in here, so... That's where you're seeing Underground's the last one.
Actually, it's weird that, like, I get getting rid of Paladino, but Abyssal, we've talked about many times, like, is the most standard map there is right now.
Oh, no one's going for an early pool.
Oh my god.
What?
It's the one time you're hyped about this. The bottom left, it's ByuL. ByuL!
In the top right, Blue Zerg, he is Impact.
Alright, I don't know how Impact's feeling right now. The series has been certainly stressful for both, and there's this degree of like, I hope he can do more than just cheese. See what this looks like here in Game 5. Does he have the skills to pay the bills?
Well, I mean, they didn't early pool, right? But that doesn't do away with all early pressure. In fact, I would still say that they're kind of likely to try and deny each other's third bases with Ling Floods. Underground has the nice, safe, natural that you should be taking in ZvZ. Other matchups, you can take the forward base, but that's pretty dangerous in the mirror matchup. But that third base is also kind of a given. If you get to a natural base, you usually get to a third base. And if you get to a third base, it's usually worth trying to kill it. But Impact goes for something a little bit greedier.
Oh.
That, again, still does not mean he's going to be totally greedy, only make drones. In fact, you can actually utilize the third base to be even more aggressive.
I feel like this is a cheese, but in another way. You've gone the opposite direction.
Cheesiest thing. Yeah, I agree.
It's an Audi to what is a normal any belly button cheese.
That's what I call all my cheeses. Maybe
that's why they call it the burger place, and they serve cheeseburgers at In-N-Out.
This is getting so gross. Oh, like, oh god, like stomach. Oh god. Oh, never mind.
I gotta put a plate away real quick. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. All right, so it's cross spawn.
I
Okay. Oh, I get you. That's excusable then. They haven't scouted each other yet. Impact basically knows not in the bottom right because they would have taken the natural base, and also ByuL knows it's not top left because they would have seen the overlords going to each other by now. So that's why you see the movement. In fact, Impact probably should have started moving his top left overlord down a little bit more. So they kind of figured it out. It's cross spawn. Not a surprise anymore. ByuL's going to see this third base and for a second probably think like, wait, did he take this as his natural? Because it is kind of early, right? The Crypto's already out. And then realize that's not the case. He sees the spawning pool still wiggling and jiggling, and he even saw the Baneling Nest. Isn't that weird? The Baneling Nest. Sees the drones of the natural and will, that's definitely saying that it's at the natural. And that's just a really fast third base. So ByuL has two choices, right? He can either make his own Lings and Banelings and try and punish this, or he can try and take a third base with drone and catch up. In a way, he also has to make Lings and Banelings in case Impact decided to be aggressive in a minute time, like when his speed finished as well. But ByuL is making this so early, it's definitely to try and tear down this greedy third.
Well, if he does kill the base, it's not... like, the third base at this timing is not that big of an influence. A little bit of extra larva, right? But you're not fully saturated on it. So, like, if Impact can take a good trade despite losing the base, he can still come out of this perfectly fine.
Oh my god, why would you do this? Oh lordy.
Of course, one of the Banelings, two of the Banelings barely survive, so this is going to be a little bit rough for ByuL.
Well, takes one of them out, but that second one, the third one that finished, really, I think, means that Impact's not going to lose the third base. And ByuL, he managed to get a drone lead off of this, but he still didn't slap down that third base. So instead of going for economy and match macro, he's going to go for faster tech, which is fine, I think. Like, if he can get to a faster Spire, then it's still going to give him the control of the map. He'll take a third base eventually, and maybe even takes a faster fourth base, almost to kind of make up for it. But Impact didn't have to really overmake Lings to defend this, and he just straight up has that larva to work with.
Man, I have not heard ambient sound effects in like 4 years of casting StarCraft. Hearing those frogs croak in the background is really weird.
Frogs croak in StarCraft?
Or whatever those background noises. You hear that, right?
Oh no, mine's so low.
Oh. Yeah, I disabled ambient noises like, I think the second day I ever cast StarCraft. So
Yeah.
it's weird hearing them back again for VSL, and I can't do anything about it. Ugh.
It's not that I just like, sure, I like lower game sounds, just like even when I play, right? But it's also that occasionally Skype does that thing. So this is just preparation for the future.
Yo, Terminator, you up early, man? Good to see you in chat. Just saying howdy doody. But Spire play coming out of ByuL, maybe not so surprising. I think, if nothing else, it's proof that he knows how to handle his mutas through the games we've seen. But at the same time, we've also seen Impact deflect this when scouted early enough. So he hasn't seen it yet, but if he does, I imagine we'll see the Infestation Pit, the Hydralisk, the Queens, all over again.
I'm a little bit surprised that Impact goes for his own Spire too. I guess the Roach Warren would have been thrown in a little bit earlier.
So it is going to be Spire versus Spire. Funny though. But I'm just going to call out one of our mods real quick. Leoman might saying I've still not effed up the payouts is the best way to ensure that you're about to mess up the payouts.
Yeah.
Like,
everyone, quick. The next series, bet on the other person you think is going to win.
yeah. You have to do like reverso payouts or reverso bets to compensate for the mod messing up the payouts. Feels bad, man. It happens to everybody. It does.
Yeah. Well, I would say that Impact's going to take a lead here then with the fact that he's going Spire. He Spires only like 30 seconds later, so this really isn't something to talk about even, honestly. Unless ByuL starts his upgrade immediately, which he does not. So Impact's going to have just a bit more gas, a few more mutas, and maybe a couple more lings to work with too because of that increased larva early on. And that's what he's using the lings right now even. I didn't think it's going to snowball as much as it has, but it's forced to pull the drones off. Third base under attack. ByuL, he's got mutas on the way, but if all those lings had focus fired the hatchery, I mean, this would have been like within like tens of health, right? And that's something where his mutas would have sniped it after that. Oh well. 15 mutas though.
Well then.
ByuL does not have 15 mutas.
No.
Right, eventually.
Well, this is where that third base I feel like specifically kicked in. You know, you've got those extractors down sooner, you've got more gas. This is how you get those leads, even if you're not getting kills. That being said, though, there's some nuances to this that are going to be interesting to watch. Like, ByuL might be down in workers, but if you can beta fight over a spore crawler, so not workers, mutas, beta fight over a spore crawler, get lings under your mutas where your opponent doesn't have lings under their mutas. Like, there's a lot of ways you can still make this work, but generally speaking, one more muta is good enough to win the game in a lot of the games we cast.
Yeah. Impact. So it's
Show
like
the
if he
unit
had
tab.
got
Show the unit tab!
Oh no! If he had gone roaches, his fourth base should be later. This is where ByuL gets an economic boost from having less of one in the early game, and ByuL really can bring it back. But Impact should even maybe be getting a faster third, because he's a little bit in control of the game after the Ling attack. He is a bit behind on the +1 Carapace, and that might just be ByuL's time to shine. Not sure the muta count is, because the muta count is not being shown. But the army supply is higher, so I'm assuming that's higher for Impact.
Okay, I'm currently fashioning a voodoo doll of the Observer, right? And I'm trying to move his hand towards hitting you.
Infestation Pit. This is really dangerous for ByuL to do, but I think he's felt like he's lost out, perhaps.
It works!
Oh my god. Impact was ahead, so that makes sense. But, I mean, he's not ahead by so much that, like, you brought up the lings and the queens and, you know, counterattacks.
That was real nice.
And all that. Oh, there you go. But ByuL might have thought that he was too far behind to continue playing the muta game.
Impact's got 4 mutas more on the map, but they're not all necessarily here. And ByuL, if you recognize that he had that armor upgrade for a moment, that might have been a fight he could have taken.
Oh, Impact splits too, though. Oh, no one ever thinks of that.
This is so bad for ByuL.
This is, well...
This is not worth.
ByuL, I mean, he had already taken something very, very dangerous and gone for infestors. And he's making the infestors too early, too. Oh, he panicked. Oh, no. Well...
That was a close muta count before, but now with almost none to work with, it is all on the infestors. And without something like pathogen glands, you don't have the time to get the energy for I hate it. It breaks my heart. But this looks really bad for ByuL. This looks like game-endingly grim for ByuL. Now, okay, actually, he does have passing class. I didn't realize he was researching that.
No, but the infestors are gonna pop up before them.
Oh,
That's what
you're
I was
right.
saying.
That's not gonna
Like
time out.
it's mistimed. He panics seeing his mutas die. He mistimed it by like 10, 15 seconds.
Oh no, those banelings are gonna trade out 2 for like 17.
Damn. There are spore crawlers, but the hatchery should go total. Yeah, like taps it. Later.
He just looked at that hatchery.
This means the infestors will gain that energy eventually. But Impact has seen ByuL's plan, and instead of like risking his game by continuing going for mass muta, he's also going to swap into infestors. And probably even Hive, if I had to guess. He's got the 4th base on the way, he has 3rd still, and he's been up in workers the entire time.
This is crazy, man. I don't know how ByuL makes this work from this position. Down a 3rd base, down workers to begin with, down army supply. There is no way in this game he really has an advantage, unless there is the reality that maybe Impact's too clumped up, and fungal growths end up being God mode. But even then, that just nullifies the army and doesn't catch him up to that 4th base, and it doesn't catch him up the extra 10 workers he's missing.
Yeah. There's no way that he's making up the bases, because he can't tear down Impact's base, which is like him getting his own 4th isn't quite the same as Impact having the 4th for so long. So you'd really need to get his 4th up and kill Impact's 4th, and without any Ling control on the map, without the more mutas, unless he burrowed his infestors and had a serious hit squad, that's not going down. And they both have the same idea here. I mean, Impact is just continuing his lead, so this makes like perfect sense for him. But ByuL, feeling a little bit like a Hail Mary once again, goes for the Hive, and it's going to try and get to Ultras. But Ultras is going to be a lot like their Muta versus Muta game, where Impact just has more. I think what has to happen is... Well, I guess one of them for Great Aspire, but that aside, is like the Infestors have to kill of Impact's Mutas, right? And then ByuL has to move in with his Ultras before Impact can remax, because Impact has to lose units before he can put the Ultras into the game. And then that's how ByuL gets the bases and wins the game. It's got to be that perfect.
I feel like when you're banking on things to be that complicatedly perfect, like you're just already into such a bad. Like there's just
You're already pretty screwed.
You better have a leprechaun in your back pocket, several 4-leaf clovers, a genie, like
A genie as well. So you're saying I need a bit of luck and also a free wish. Gotcha.
You wish for more leprechauns. I think that's how that works. So I mean, like the dynamic of Ultra versus Ultra is actually straight up hilarious. I don't know that this is gonna get to that point, but they both are working towards that point. I love what ByuL's done here, though. Like, I love and don't love this, right? Simultaneously. Well, on one hand, like the Viper's coming out, fungal growth, parasitic bomb. He's thinking about mutas, and he's thinking about ways to break them. And those are good moves to break them. Wow, spore crawlers are cool.
Right?
The other Overlord's like, no, I'm being like.
Okay, that was a cool idea, but doesn't really work out. It's a risk late game, anyways. But one Bailing gets to live, though.
That I really didn't expect that Overlord to die so quickly. I'm gonna be honest with you, that really caught me off guard. But anyways, ByuL's done all these really cool moves to possibly deal with the Mutalist threat, and that's great, and I applaud it. And there is actually still a Mutalist threat, but the fact remains that Ultra versus Ultra after this is gonna be so just dumb. But whoever has their mutas alive for it will actually have the edge. So
again, like ByuL gets a fungal and now a parasitic bomb.
Well,
he did invest in a Viper.
Splits. I love these splits. He doesn't want to take any risks, but ByuL's completely out of position, so they're all not gonna matter.
Yeah, his infestors are at his 4th base, I believe. So his Spire's gonna go down, his Hatch is gonna go down. Maybe his main is even gonna be under fire once Impact realizes, like, hey, I'm not even being attacked right now.
I love these still staying split. Like, Impact making sure not to be careless with this.
Yeah. Okay, so he's not gonna risk it either by moving in even more.
Oh, is this like a bait? This is like a sickest bait.
Yeah, those are his investors.
Yeah, the fungal locks him down. He puts the Terrans and the mutas flock on in.
But the thing is ByuL is still. He doesn't really. I don't know if he cares that his mutas died. Like he was ever gonna win the Muta versus Muta war. Like he's also banking on his infestors getting the fungal.
Yeah.
So, while it hurts just to lose army in general because he's having such a hard time maxing out, at least he felt better about himself. It's kind of like, it's gonna happen anyways.
I do want to actually bring in the dynamic of Infestors versus Ultras, by the way, because for those who don't remember, Ultras have Frenzy. They actually can't be locked down with Fungal Growth. But you can actually create these sort of like infested Terran egg walls, and Ultras are bad against SimCity. They've been bad against SimCity forever. And I think the last time I really saw it used well was Petraeus. Oh,
Whoa.
nice fungal. Petraeus back forever ago when he played.
Oh, the Banelinks help against the Terrans.
Yeah, but is that worth it? It's like 3 units you're wasting gas on.
It
Impact's
is
got like
true.
a 4K, 2K bank behind this as well.
It's not worth it, but you know, if it had been that wall you were describing, Impact might have gone for the kill. Oh well. I don't think Impact can without his own Ultras. They're back at home.
Yeah. The fact that this might be one of the few Korean games we've ever seen go Ultra versus Ultra, by the way. Normally, they're both so good they actually kill each other before this point.
It really helps that they both were inclined to Mutas in this series.
I gotta tell you,
evenly matched.
I want those fungals and I want those parasitic bombs.
Impact's not even letting it happen, man. The army is so
You'll need
protecting
to
the
save
fourth
this
base.
base. This is not one I can mess around with. But with everything being so split up, he can actually viably do infested Terrans here.
Yeah, there's so many infestors. And ByuL, like, if he ever gets maxed out, he's gotten so close. You know, so close to happening. He could over-invest in his sport colors. They're not doing a bad job taking care of the mutas.
Nice split.
And obviously Impact's not going to reinvest in the mutas, because that's just going to be worth it.
No, but I mean, this is a fight that ByuL needed to take to keep his +3 coming, to keep his hive alive. Yes, that rhymed. That sounded great. 10 infestors though for ByuL. This is really interesting. Like I can actually see. I'm starting to see him carve out this way that this might work out for him.
Laying attacks will help as well. Unfortunately, Impact is not expanding to the north. He's expanding to the east. And ByuL's attack should be headed that way, but still like the idea. If they would move.
Nobody's got the collectors edition Ultra this game, man.
It's bad, man.
Nurchi is the only one who really uses it, I think. He worked so hard to keep the 3-3 alive. Both Evo Chambers are going to go down.
He should have over-invested in his sport colors. Oh well. Hindsight 2020. Lings do get into this space. Only one spine crawler rather, but there are already ultras over here. He knows about the 6. I think there's like a red thing on the minimap that I see on the Impact 6. So President head that way.
Queens are so cool.
Well, these ultras, they're in higher number for ByuL, right?
I believe so, yes.
The
He's also
upgrades are
wasting a
done
lot of
for
swipes
Impact.
here on things like the Queens and the Infested Terrans and whatnot. But that being said, you know, he's got those transfusions coming in. Now he can start making this fight better.
You know, he might win this fight, but Impact has a lot of bank. In fact, he's gonna so win this fight. These ultras are all on the front lines. Sport move down instantly.
7K, 4K. Look at that bank out of Impact. It's actually disgusting.
I mean, look how much ByuL actually won this fight, but he lost his entire main for it.
Yeah.
He managed to fit in a Ultras cavern before the hive died, but you know.
And the thing is
that's it.
What's interesting is the mutas.
Oh god, 15.
I was gonna make a point, but I don't want it anymore. It's just.
Oh god.
And what kills me is he still has a bank behind that, right? Like it's not just that he got 15 ultras. But again, this is where it becomes really important for ByuL. He's still making more infestors because really that's all he can afford to do. Use up that gas bank, right? I really truly believe that with some good SimCity, with some infested Terrans coming to the backside, like he could actually take a fight still. But 14 ultras, like there's no doubt that Impact has the army numbers coming into this.
And ByuL's still dealing with mutas, man. Like,
yeah.
If he did not have to deal with mutas, if he ever got that one magical fungal, even if it came like a lot later in this game, that is his main still alive, and probably a decent number of drones still alive too. I don't know how many drones have been lost in this entire game, but not having to remake those would have helped his bank. ByuL is still like, he's on 3 mining bases. Then after the third base still isn't quite mined out. He's getting his own bank once again, and he has so many transfuses.
Okay, so that's not quite how I expected the Infested Terrans to go down.
So dumb. I don't know what's happening. The Infested Terrans might actually win this out.
It's red versus blue, but really it's just brown versus brown on my screen. I really can't tell. I'm looking at the army supply. ByuL's actually taking the fight okay.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought he'd take it even better, though.
You know what, though? He's got no ultras left is the problem. Like, he ends up leaving. Oh, GG. GG.
Ultra's really, like, They're colored too vibrantly, you know?
I don't actually have anything to say about that. Like, even chat's like, what's going on? What am I watching?
I truly thought the Infestitarians combo with the Queens would have made ByuL's army better, but he was missing upgrades and not enough ultras.
Yeah, oh, that was good. You know, the thing is, that was a tough game no matter how that plays out. I think you know it, we know it, the viewers know it, the players know it. Like, GG. All right, well, Impact's going to be very satisfied moving on to the top 4 of the tournament, so he'll move on to the semifinals. ByuL, sadly, knocked out. Rest in peace, my friend. That being said, we now get set up for the next series. It's going to be a best of 5 of Classic versus Zest. Now, we're going to play our like typical BaseTradeTV 2-minute ad break, but I don't know. Oh, she's so pretty, Zombie Grove. I seriously have such a crush on this woman.
Okay, I like this is like the art thing all over again, man. Like,
no, guys, does she have an Instagram? Does anyone know? Oh,
I don't know if I'm like totally knockout gorgeous type of like wow.
Waifu goals, dude. Waifu goals. Anyways,
oh my God.
Classic versus coming up. VSL sometimes takes like these 10-minute breaks between games. I don't know if that's how long this one will be, but we are going to squeeze in our ad break. So thank you for watching. Sit tight. And when we get back, we'll be back as soon as the games are available, and it's going to be Classic versus Zest PvP.